All right. All right, all right. So we're back with another Facebook Live video, and the reason I keep doing these is because you guys keep want to see them. So the topics are all what you guys want to watch and what you guys want to learn. So it's all for you, kind of like we talked about yesterday. So today we're going to be talking about setting up SMART goals for your success, and you can use SMART goals really in anything that you want to do. But I mean, we're talking about gyms and fitness and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to stay with that fitness topic. But what happens a lot of times as people get prepared for the new year or a new gym or a new workout regimen, it sounds really good for a little bit, but then you kind of drop off along the way. And it's not always your fault, meaning that it's not always like a willpower issue. It's not always like, oh, I'm just lazy or something like that. That's not true. A lot of people are really motivated. A lot of people really want to do well, but they're starting incorrectly and they kind of drop off. And it becomes a mental struggle, and it becomes really, really hard to stay accountable throughout a year, 6 months, 3 months, or even if you set a specific goal that you want to go get, how do you stay motivated to do that? So we're going to talk about that, because that's where a lot of people struggle a whole lot. Now, talked about giveaway. So I said in the little title here that we're going to give something away. So shout out to Big Peach Running. They hooked us up with all these socks. So I know socks don't sound cool, but these are like $13 to $17 a piece for these socks, but they're really comfy for running. So they're going to give you a little bit more compression on your foot, and they're going to, I use them a lot when I run, but there's I think it's like called wick or something like that. There's not a wick to them. They feel really comfortable. They compress your foot. You're not going to get any blisters, and I got a whole bag of them. So I have a whole bag, all different colors. I just brought out a few, and you can come and pick some socks. Now, how do you win? All right, so all you got to do is, as you're watching this video, if you think that anybody could benefit from, let's say, our Groupon or coming to train here, or even just the video in general, like anybody that you think would benefit from this video, just type their name as you're watching in the comments. You can't really share it while you're watching and stuff, but if you type their name in, then they're going to get notified that this video is going on, so they'll be able to go back and rewatch it and hopefully learn something from it. And then if you do that, and they come in and train with us, so if they come and get the Groupon or whatever, we're going to give you some socks. So again, all you got to do, type your buddy's name in, say, hey buddy, watch this video. They'll go, oh man, this is awesome. I should totally come train at Strongside. And then if they get the Groupon or whatever, we're going to hook you up with a free pair of socks. There's not just one winner, anybody that does that. If 20 people get people to come in on the Groupon, boom, giving away 20 pairs of socks. And again, I know socks don't sound cool, but the next time you run, you get a lot of blisters. That's why we're giving them away. So there's that. Okay, now let's talk about SMART goals. So here's the deal. When you're setting a goal for this new year, let's just stay with the New Year theme, because January is right around the corner, and all everybody's been talking about today is how crappy they feel after eating 75 cookies in the last 24 hours. But here's the deal. When you set a goal and you pick something out, you need to kind of revise your goal and make sure that your goal isn't just a good idea. A lot of people set goals to be good ideas, and they don't reach it because it's simply just that. It's simply just a good idea. And maybe we reach it, maybe we don't. And the first step to do that is you want to make sure that you're not summiting the wrong peak. This is what a lot of people do. They summit the wrong peak. They might set a goal, achieve it, and they feel empty. Sometimes people get this like post-race depression, like they'll do the event and they feel really bad when they're done. Whether it's because they didn't have another goal in line or whatever. But a lot of times people pick out goals that they thought it would be good to reach, but in all actuality, it wasn't what they really wanted to do. Just to give you an example. So there was this tennis player, Andre Agassi. I don't know a whole lot about tennis, but I know about Andre Agassi. He won all these championships. He won more championships than anybody else. And at the end of his career, they asked him to reflect on it and how do you feel and all that kind of stuff. And he said he felt horrible. He was not happy or motivated, and he was just bored with what he'd done in his career because his parents wanted him to play tennis. He didn't really want to play tennis. He was summiting the wrong peak. All of the U.S. Open tournaments and stuff like that, he didn't want to do that. So what does that mean for you? It means that if you set a goal that you don't really want to accomplish, like you see somebody on a magazine and you go, if I could just look like her or him, or if you see your neighbor and you're like, I just want to look like them, or on an elite level, if you start doing CrossFit, for example, and you say, I want to go to the CrossFit Games. Anything that you do just because you see somebody else do it, that is the biggest, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but the biggest influence to get people to summit the wrong peak. You might reach that goal. You might say, I want to look like Jennifer Aniston. Great, cool. But then you look like her and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're really not happy because you summited the wrong peak. So you really need to look at your goals and make sure that it's something that you really want to do. Not because it looks like a good idea, because your buddy did it, because it looked cool on the internet, or because you saw it on some magazine. You don't want to accomplish that goal and feel empty because it wasn't really what you wanted to accomplish. And when you do that, you want to look at intrinsic and extrinsic motivating factors. So what happens a lot is people will extrinsically motivate themselves. Basically, this is internally and externally. So if you're externally motivating yourself, you're not going to be constantly driven because you always have to find your motivational source. Versus intrinsic motivation is you're self-driven to reach that goal. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say that you were trying to discipline a child and you said, okay, if you keep your room clean Monday through Friday, then I will take you to a movie on Saturday. That's an extrinsically motivating factor because their only motivation to keep their room clean is for the movie on Friday. So when they're 30 and they're living on their own, they're not going to have any motivation to keep their room clean or their house clean or anything because there's not that reward at the end of it. Versus if you said, all right, taught them all these skills and drills or whatever to keep their room clean, and then one day you said, you know what? You are doing such a good job at keeping your room clean. Let's go to the movies. They would be much more intrinsically motivated because they see so much reward with the good work that they're doing. So that's kind of an example of it. What does that mean? Extrinsically motivating is, we see this a lot with looks, but a lot of people want to set up goals for looks. They want to set up goals that only have an extrinsic reward. Maybe it's they want to look a certain way, or they feel, first off, don't treat yourself like a dog. Don't reward yourself with food. A lot of people use extrinsic motivating factors of food. They say, or even clothes. A lot of people say, well, I'm not going to do food, I'm going to do clothes. They'll say, I'm going to work really hard this week so I can go out to dinner on Saturday. I'm going to work really hard, so I'm going to go reward myself with a new outfit. I kind of get it, but you're only working for those goals. You're only working really hard so you can eat. You're only working really hard so you can get another set of jeans. You're only working really hard for other things. You're not working good for yourself. Versus if you wanted to better yourself in some domain, like I know we talk about pull-ups a lot, but if you said, I want to intrinsically motivate myself by, I want to get 6 pull-ups. I can currently do 4. Well, if you get 6 pull-ups, that's not rewarding yourself by going out to eat or getting a new pair of clothes or a new car or whatever. You're rewarding yourself just for the self-gratification if you got 6 pull-ups. If the farthest you've ever run is 100 meters and you say, I really want to run a mile. I want to run a mile. Okay, run a mile, and that intrinsic drive and motivating factor of running 1 mile without stopping is way more rewarding. You're reaching something that can't be shared. Nobody can buy it. Nobody can give it. You had to earn it. So you're constantly motivated. And when you get that drive of success that you found something you want to do really well, it's going to lead to the next goal. 1 mile is going to lead to 2 miles. 6 pull-ups is going to lead to 12 pull-ups. And you're way more intrinsically motivated. Versus if you said the same deal. I want to run a mile so I can go buy a new pair of shoes. You're only motivated for the shoes. I'm not saying that you shouldn't ever benefit from the good work that you've done, but if your only motivating factor is something that you have to go spend money on or something you have to go acquire or something that you're given, it's not going to work as well. A lot of champions of their sport aren't motivated by the gold medal. They're motivated simply by just being the best. This would be motivated for the medal. That's like a one-time champion that kind of fell off the face of the earth. The champion that wins over and over and over again, they genuinely like just bettering themselves. And it wouldn't matter if they got a medal or not, they would always be the best because they're self-driven to do better each time. So intrinsic versus extrinsic motivating factors. You want to make sure that you're not summiting the wrong peak. You want to set a goal that you really, really want to do. And it needs to be internally driven, something that's actually going to make you better, not something that you're chasing for somebody else or because it looked cool on paper. That would be extrinsic. When you do that, so when you're understanding this idea of goal setting, where you want to set a SMART goal, and that's the acronym that we'll use. And you really want to pay attention to how you set your goals because that's a lot of what your training is. If you're just training or showing up to the gym to check a box and go, I hope I guess I got better because I went to the gym today. I went 5 days this week, so I'm better. That's not true. What did you do in the gym today? And you should be setting goals that are so aggressive, not unrealistic, but so aggressive that you have to become the person that it takes to reach those. They shouldn't be just easy grabbers. You should set something that you blossom into the person that you want to be by reaching them. And I truly believe that, whether that's in fitness or anything else. So the acronym SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timeline or time bound. So here's the deal. They need to be specific goals. What would not a specific goal be? Like, let's say you said, I want to drink more water. Okay? Just drink a bottle of water. Done. I would like to lose weight. Okay? You go to the bathroom. Lost weight. I would like to run more. Okay, we didn't run at all yesterday, so I guess if you run today, then you're better. It's not really telling anything. When we mold these sentences of a goal, I should be able to read it and know exactly what you want to accomplish by doing it. So specific, I'm just going to keep referencing pull-ups, all right? That's just easy because we've been talking about pull-ups the whole time, all right? It just flashed at me. I don't know why the camera just flashed at me. That's why I looked around. All right, anyways. So specific. So remember, as we go through this, if you want to win the prize that we talked about at the beginning of this, all you got to do is tag your friend. So in the comments, if you put your friend's name down so they can come watch this, and then they come in and use their Groupon or start training with you, we're going to give you some free swag. All right? It doesn't matter if it's 5 people or 10 people or 100 people, whatever. But so there's that. All you got to do is come in and use the Groupon. That's all you got to do. Okay. So anyways, specific goals. Using the goal of pull-ups. I would like to do 10 pull-ups. Okay? That's a specific number. You can check that off. It's very difficult to set a goal that you can't check off. Meaning, let's say you said, limit soda 3 days a week. All right? Kind of. But are you going to measure that? Like, if you said, by April, I want to only drink a can of Coca-Cola 3 days a week. Unless you keep a very, very detailed calendar, it's going to be very difficult to know if 1 week you had 4. And maybe that doesn't really matter a whole lot, but at minimum, it's not very specific. Versus, did you do it or not? So talking about pull-ups, if you want to get 10 pull-ups, well, if you get 9, you know you didn't get 10. So did we reach it or not? If you want to run a mile without stopping, go run a mile. If you stopped, you didn't reach it. If you ran the mile without stopping, you reached it. You know whether or not you did it. You don't have to look back and go, did I? I don't remember if I did or not. It needs to be very, very specific when you're writing that goal out. Measurable. You need to be able to know if you did it or not. And you need to be able to repeat it. A lot of the examples I'm going to give are very performance-driven. Being a performance-driven culture, like we talked about in yesterday's video, will allude to more success. Because you might want to lose 10 pounds, that's a specific goal, but it's not performance-based, so it can kind of mess up some other things along the way. So I always recommend setting performance goals. But measurable, did you do it or not? That kind of alludes back to that check mark that we talked about. You either did it or didn't do it, that's it. So measurable. Attainable. You want to pay a whole lot of attention to this because you can set an inappropriate goal or an unrealistic goal, all right? So ART, I feel like kind of go together a little bit. So I'm not going to go in order. Let's just do this. Specific, measurable. Let's skip down to the T, so the timeline. A goal without a deadline is just a good idea. Set a goal of when you want to do it, all right? So I would like to reach these goals. Don't put as soon as possible. No. All right, it needs to have a legit day. June 1st, into the first quarter, March 31st, whatever, of when you want to reach these goals by. If you make a list of goals, they don't all have to be done by that timeline. You might set some short term, some long term. Maybe for the whole year you want to do blank, whatever, that's fine. But different check marks along the way. That time is very important. Then we can look at these two things. Is it attainable and is it realistic? For example, if you can only run 100 meters without stopping right now, that's the farthest you can run, and then you want to run a 6-minute mile in 2 weeks, that is completely unrealistic and it's not very attainable. But let's say that you can run a 7-minute mile, and you say, all right, I can run a 7-minute mile. but by the end of March, I would like to run a 6-minute mile. That's pretty hard. That's pretty hard. Going from a 7 to a 6 is very, very difficult. But you got a while. You're only a minute apart. You have 3 months to do that. You could do that. And then we can define that. So using running as a goal, run a 6-minute mile by March 31st. It's specific. I know what I want to do. I want to run a 6-minute mile. Is it measurable? Yep, because I can go run a mile and I can time it. I can see if I got 6 minutes flat or 6:01. I didn't quite reach it. Is it attainable? Yeah, because I'm currently running a 7, so I can get down to a 6. Is it realistic? Yep, because it's kind of in that same time bracket. It's only a minute. And is there a timeline? Yep, March 31st. What would it be if that goal, so the good goal setting would be run a 6-minute mile by March 31st. What would I not want to do? Run more, run a 6-minute mile. Like, you're not giving any definition to it. Is it specific? I said run more, and then I said run a 6-minute mile. I don't know. Measurable, I mean, kind of. I guess it kind of is, because I said run more, but I don't really know what more is. Like, I don't really know if I reached the goal or not. It is attainable and realistic. I can run more if I didn't run yesterday, but there was no timeline. So half of these are kind of getting reached, half of them are. And the reason for that is because you get a lot of self-actualization and a lot of self-accountability, hence the intrinsic portion of this, by doing things that hold yourself accountable to it. All right? So let's revisit one more time. First off, again, comment your buddy's name in here to come watch this video. We're going to give you some free socks to get the Groupon. Don't summit the wrong peak. Intrinsic and extrinsic motivating factors, and you set SMART goals. All right? So I'm going to give an example of what we do here at StrongSide. So we talked a lot about yesterday, your programming and all that kind of stuff. So this goal wall. Here's the deal with this. So this goal wall has been extremely successful in seeing our athletes' success. And I truly mean that. So we have goal wall up top. We see lean and mean. So each training cycle has a name to it. And what we do with each training cycle is we say, all right, here's the objective of this training cycle. We're trying to accomplish X, Y, and Z. We don't only focus on one thing, but each goal has an overall parameter of what we're trying to do. Then all of our athletes set 3 to 4 goals within that time frame. So for example, we're ending week 2 of testing. Today was the last day of week 2 of testing. So when we set these goals back in, I think it was like beginning of September. That's what it was. It was beginning of September. We told everybody, all right, the training cycle starts now. It ends here. These are the goals that you need to accomplish. These are the parameters of goals that you want to accomplish, all right? So they know that they have until this day or really next week to cross off all their goals on the goal wall. And then what we do is we look at every athlete and we say, okay, where are you at right now? And we say, all right, let's set goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic in the timeline. So that way you're holding yourself accountable to it. Now, what I talked about before I came over here when I was looking at the dry erase board is that when you're not doing things that hold yourself accountable, you can kind of let them go a little bit. There's no self-actualization. There's no intrinsic motivation to do that. The biggest thing that I like about this goal wall is it gets erased. That's my favorite thing about the goal wall, is that every training cycle it gets erased. Because a lot of people will write down goals of things that would be good ideas with no intent of ever erasing them. I would like to lose 30 pounds. I would like to lose 50 pounds. And then when they don't ever reach it, I got time. I got plenty of time. I got whatever. No, you don't. You need to set a goal that has a specific, measurable timeline of when it's going to get done. They need to be realistic and attainable to ensure success. And the goal is to reach them in that time frame to be intrinsically motivated to get better. So that's kind of it. If you're setting goals for the New Year's or setting goals just in general to get fit, that's how we prescribe to set all your goals to get the most out of your training at StrongSide and really just get you set up for success. So rewind it to the whiteboard if needed to revisit all the SMART goals. Start thinking about your SMART goals, especially for all the StrongSide athletes, because starting next week, this will get erased and we will reevaluate your training cycle from now until the Open. And you'll be writing new goals up here. And I hope to see all 3 or 4 goals checked off before the Open, which a lot of you guys did. I mean, there's check marks all over here. It was really good. But you got any questions? Let me know. And I'll see you guys this afternoon.